Hello, everyone. Welcome to another version of Zoom Mat Class. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. Today's class, we will continue needing the yoga blocks that we used last week and theraband, our friend. To start with, though, we're going to need a nice either a Franklin ball or a sock with 4 to 5 pairs of socks inside a sock so you can roll out your hips a little bit, and then we'll get started. So join me as I put one of my balls under the right sit bone, and all I'm going to do is just roll around that right sit bone as I breathe in and out. I'm trying to stay as broad up and out of my shoulders as possible. Maybe let me look at the time, since I'm notorious for going off time. I'm making all kinds of sounds and noises, so I apologize. And then we're going to go from the sit bone to the side of the thigh bone and then back out to the sit bone. So we roll to the side of the thigh bone, back on top of the sit bone. Then I'm going to go over onto the right side of the thigh bone to kind of help relieve where the ITB, the TFL, all of those important, lovely, veiny muscles that start way at the top of that thigh bone and go out into the inside of the knee or the outside of the thigh bone and the knee all the way into the leg. So it's important to relieve some of this myofascial tension. So that's what I'm focusing on, trying to give myself a little acupressure massage and really telling my brain to help relieve some tension. Excellent. And then I'm going to come off, stretch my legs out. Just notice how much heavier you're sitting on your right thigh bone. The whole right leg feels a lot lighter than the left leg. It's pretty interesting, the left thigh bone and leg. So now we'll go to the left sit bone, and we're just going to roll around first. It's making a lot of noise on the left side, even more so than the right side. And then I'm going to go to the side of the left of the thigh bone and then go right back to the sit bone, to the side of the thigh bone and right back on top of the sit bone, to the side and right back. Just a few of those. Last week, we had our legs up against the wall to start with a restorative pose. Or we might continue that way again this week to start off with the wall. So just so you're mentally preparing yourself. We won't stay there for a whole minute like we did last time. So now I'm going to go to the side of that left thigh bone, put a little bit more weight along there, and just breathe into that outside where the thigh bone meets the pelvis. Give that area a lovely release and letting go thought process. And just breathing. Very simple. And then carefully come off. I just realized I forgot to turn the volume way up like I normally do. And I'm going to do that today because that really helped the last few times and increased my brightness. There we go. Now I'm all with it. All right, so I'm going to move my mat way close to the wall and let my legs go up against the wall. So here we go. I'm going to be so far away from you, so I apologize. Trying to find myself deep into the wall. I wore my watch to remind myself of staying on time for a change. There. Literally just 30 seconds of gravitational energy, letting all of the lovely necessary elements to let go from the feet to the hip. That's about 10 seconds, maybe 20 more seconds. Take easy, long breaths in and out. And if you want to hum, like, that's also a very nice diaphragm release. Excellent. So now that we have that, I'm going to move away from the wall carefully. Find all corners of my feet into the wall, legs perpendicular to the thigh bones perpendicular to the pelvis. And ideally, the ribs are resting heavy. And if that means that you have to give yourself a subtle pelvic tilt to do so, do that. It's okay here. We're just getting started. I just want you to think of how much of your back can really rest heavy into the ground. As you press the feet into the wall, let your arms go up and back somewhere behind you as long as the ribs stay happy and down. And then exhale, bring the arms all the way down in front. Just simple. We're just letting the arm bones move freely in the socket as we breathe. Nothing else, nothing fancy. Whatever breath feels comfortable. Keep it going. Two more. Last one. Leave the arms nice and long with the fingertips reaching towards the toe tips, which is the wall here. And you're going to curl your tailbone if you haven't already done so. Let your bum float off the ground and just let the small of your back come off the ground. So the bottom of the ribs can stay down onto the ground. It's just a tiny little scoop of the belly wall to help rest into the front of the back. So our abdominal organs can kind of dance and slosh around each other. And then you roll your way back down. Take a lovely inhale. Keep those thigh bones and your knees pointing directly up. Exhale, curl your tailbone. Go back into that tiny little scoop. And pay attention. Did your knees end up knocking inward? Allow them not to knock in and open them out slightly by the top of the outside of the thigh bones where we just released. And then we roll our way back down. We just have 3 more of those. Take an inhale. Exhale, curl your tailbone. Barely let your bum float off. Find that abdominal basket scooping into the front of your back. And then roll your way back down. 2 more. Take a nice inhale. Let it go. Next exhale, curl and find that scoop again. Can you let the bottom of the ribs stay on the ground because your jaw is open, your collarbones are resting heavy into your shoulders, and your ribs are resting heavy into your back. And the rib basket has so many vital organs. And I'm staying here a little longer and then rolling my way down. Last one. On the last one, stay in that scoop and we add on. We take an inhale. We exhale, curl and peel up into that same scoop. Now, this time, you're just barely going to take the right foot off. Keep it 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 off. Last 2. And we put it right back into the wall. Did you find it in the same place, hopefully? Take an inhale. Exhale, step into the right foot to take the left foot off the wall. Keep it off. Keep it off. Keep it off. Keep it off. 2 more. And then find it back into the wall. Let your tailbone curl a little bit more if that's available and roll your way all the way down. I don't know about you, that gave me a lovely release for the low back and the sacrum, which is something I always could use. So now, last segment, arms go back behind you, cradle your hand together, interlacing your fingers, hold your head and neck in your hands, let your elbows come off the floor. In fact, let your elbows come way off the floor, just so they're way in front of you. Take an inhale, nod your chin, and let your head get picked up by the middle of your breastbone falling into your backbone, and breathe. Nothing else. Can you let go of the front body a little bit more into your back body? I am quivering, and it's normal. And then you roll your way down. Another inhale to prepare. Exhale, curl. Head, neck, and shoulders, and your tailbone if you want to find that deeper scoop of the rib and abdominal basket, dancing with each other. Yes, I said dancing with each other, because the intra-abdominal pressure is what helps us learn how to breathe better. And then we roll our way back down. We have 2 more of those, please. Take a breath in. Exhale, curl your head, neck, and shoulders forward and give yourself a pelvic tilt. Keep it there. Keep it there. Think of not gripping or squeezing anything, and then roll your way back down. On the last one, keep that sternum fold and pelvic tilt, same amount of time. Exhale, sternum fold, pelvic tilt, or chest lift, pelvic tilt, all synonymous terms. Do you still have a bobble in your head and neck? That's how you know your neck is soft. Are you still breathing easy? I talk a bunch so you know I can breathe, and then you roll your way back down. I hope that went well. Arms are going to go to goal pose. You take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, peel the arm bones off the ground and notice how the middle of your upper back comes into play. And then let those arm bones and the elbows and the forearms go back down onto the ground. If that's not available to you and you need to be in a W with the forearms and the hands off the ground, that's also okay. Take an inhale, exhale, the arm bone and the elbow come off the ground wherever you are, and you lower it back down. So can you allow your breastbone to fall heavy into your backbone to lift the arm bones off the ground? And notice how it gives you that widening feeling across the front of your chest and a widening feeling across the middle of your upper back. They're definitely working, but they're still wide. And then you roll back down. Just 2 more of those. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift those arm bones and the elbows and the forearm and the hands off the ground. They're still in goal post if available, or a W, wherever you are, and then let it fall. Last one. It's just to increase awareness of how well we can keep our head and neck in a comfortable place instead of too far forward of our neck and our chest in our life. It's so easy to do so, and then let it fall. Excellent. So now I'm going to push myself away from the wall to lengthen my legs just enough, because I'm going to step into the wall for a roll up. Remember, if you only do 1 leg roll up in your practice, that is a-okay. Take an inhale, exhale, peel your way, stepping into all corners of your feet, all the way towards the wall. Keep going as far forward. Use your hands into the wall to get a little deeper curl of the low back. So your belly wall is hugging the front of your low back. And then come back to sitting nice and tall by floating your head, neck, and chest out. Take a breath in. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Step into all corners of your feet into the wall and roll all the way down onto your back. Take your time here. Take an inhale. Exhale, nod your chin as the arms float right over your chest. Peel your way back all the way up. Ooh, when your legs need to bend, they bend. And when you need to touch the wall to help you get a little deeper stretch, you go for it. Find that deep capital C curve of your neck, chest, middle of your back, low back, into the thigh bones, and then come off the wall, sit up as tall as you can. Head and neck are floating right over your chest, palms facing each other, pelvic tilt, peeling back, peeling back. It's like you're inviting each vertebra to find a new place on the mat and Mother Earth underneath. And we peel off of Mother Earth. This is the last one. Woo. Fantastic. Stepping into all corners of your feet. This time I'm going to lengthen my legs as much as possible. Let my hands land at the edge of my legs, closer to my ankle and my feet. And I'm just going to breathe into the small of my back a little bit more. Oh, and then come back to sitting up nice and tall. I hope that felt good, because it sure felt good for me. So now the yoga blocks will come into play in a couple of moments. Remember stepping into the wall with your feet and then putting your hands in onto the sides of your thigh bones to help you lift your bum off the ground. It'll come into play, but not quite yet. We're going to curl back and find that pelvic tilt, that scoop of the low belly, abdominal basket into the front of our back, and just pause there. And arms float up right over your head, next to the earlobes, and they fall all the way down to the ground. They float up and they fall down. Whatever breath feels good, take a full breath cycle to do everything if you need. We just have 10 full repetitions of these. I know it's a bunch. I'm at 4. Hang in there. You're doing fantastic. Even though I can't see you, I know you are. And keep reminding yourself of how wonderful it is to be able to move so well in our bodies. One more time, our bodies are so resilient as long as we allow them to stay resilient, and we fold forward. All right, so far so good. I know I can't hear you, but I'm going to pretend I just heard an emphatic yes. All right, here we go. I'm going to move my hair out of the way a little bit more. Your hands are going to go along the sides of your thigh bones where you've placed your yoga blocks or the stack of pillows, blankets, whatever you need to create, or a couple of phone books, even if you still have phone books in your home. Before you go anywhere, think of broadening the collarbones and the shoulders, and see if you can float your head and neck up a little bit more. And then press into all corners of your hands to lengthen your arm bones to lift your bum off. And are you still stepping into the wall with your feet? Your toes can come off the wall, but the ball of your feet and the heels are kissing into the wall. And then lower your way back down by bending at the elbow slightly. How did that go? I know it's pretty challenging. Take an inhale. Skip this section if this is not for you with your hands. Exhale, float up. 10, 9. Are you able to turn your head side to side without change, without difficulty? 3, 2, and back down. We just have one more of those. We take a breath in. Take your hand and your wrist if you need to. Let it go. Take another inhale. Exhale. Press the yoga block past the earth to help you lift your bum off the ground. Your thigh bones are in a downward slant and you're long in your spine, hopefully, head to tail. And then you turn your head side to side just so you can tell my neck is free. And then you come back down. Yay! I'm going to take the yoga blocks away again, put them away. And now I'm going to grab the theraband. I'm going to turn to face the other direction and go a little wider on my mat and take the theraband across both feet, because I'm going to go back through that spine stretch forward in a different connection. I have a wide stance with my feet and I have my theraband as close to the feet as possible, but it's not about me. So go to which tension helps you to get taller easier. Remember, you can still continue using the yoga block or the blankets or the pillows as a throne to help you. And you're going to go into spine stretch forward, pretending you're peeling off of the wall. The head comes off the wall, the neck, the upper back, the middle back, and then you end up having to bend your elbows and the elbows hang to help you curl the low back, to let the low belly hug the front of your low back. And then you come back to sitting nice and tall. Same way you rolled forward, you ease your way back up to sitting over those sit bones. It's like you're floating into the sky. Inhale, exhale, nod off of the wall. Head, neck, middle of the upper back, middle back, low back. Go as far forward without dropping your head to where you cannot speak clearly or sing to me. If you can sing and speak, that means your airway's open. And then you slowly rock your way back up, floating over those sit bones. How did that feel? So now I'm going to take both ends of the theraband into one hand. Yes, I'm still in a wide connection. I'm going to take my left arm up over next to the earlobe. I'm going to take an inhale. Exhale, flex forward. And I know, but I'm going to keep my arm way above. It's a different feeling. My right hand has the ends of both theraband. I'm just flexing as far forward. And then I come right back to sitting nice and tall. So I'm going to add a little rotation next. As I flex forward, I'm going to take my left arm behind me, turn and look back behind me. Take an inhale. Exhale, the arm goes down and back over the ear as I come back to sitting up tall. So I circle it up and back behind me as I flex forward. And I circle it down and back as I come back to facing forward and sitting tall. Two more. It's very tempting for the knees to knock inward, especially in my body. So I have to concentrate on keeping them away from each other. Last one. How did that feel? Strange? I know, but believe me, hang in there. You'll see how all of that came into play in a moment. So now, same love. I'm going to take both ends of the theraband into my left hand. My right arm extends over next to the right earlobe without the upper trap coming into play. My shoulder is happy. Take an inhale. Exhale, flex forward in the middle. Keep that right arm right next to the earlobe as you flex forward. It'll give you an image of a picture frame holding your head and neck in the same place. And then we come back to floating right over those sit bones. Open those thigh bones up, Vidya, 2 of these, and then we go into rotation. Exhale, flex forward. Are your shoulders happy? And then coming right back on top of both sit bones. So now I go into that big twist. I take that right arm up and back as I flex forward, turn and look at that right hand. And then the right hand goes down and all the way next to the earlobe as I come back to sitting tall. Exhale, flex forward, lengthen your left arm if that feels good. And then down and around with the right arm next to the earlobe. Last one. It's a very subtle movement. Essentially, it's all about the rotation from where the rib ends and the ribs end and the low back begins. That low back area is where we're trying to twist the ribs around the hips, in other words. So now I'm going to get rid of the theraband. Oh, let both legs come back to narrow. Can you tell how the legs feel so much lighter already? Flex forward and notice how easy it feels to flex forward. I'm going to roll all the way down onto my back. And once I'm here, I'm going to float the left leg directly long right over the hip towards the sky or the heavens. It's a nice long leg. I'm going to flex my foot as though the heel is planting into the ceiling. I want the left side body to be happy, so I'm going to ask the left corner of my bum to reach for the right foot. I take an inhale. Exhale, let the left heel and the left sit bone have a little love by rotating the thigh bone out and rotating the thigh bone in. So it's like the heel has become a key, and I'm going through the keyhole, going side to side with the keyhole. And from top of the thigh bone to the heel. So hip to heel connection. Last two. And last one. And now we'll take it into leg circles. We'll take that leg across the body, down, around, and back up. And if you want a soft point with that left foot, by all means, do so. Don't let it be so strict in your mind. We just go for 6 each direction. 5, 6. And then we'll go the other way, away, down, around, and back up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give that knee a little hug. Ooh, I'm impressed I can actually hug now. It's awesome. And then stretch that leg away. Before you even go anywhere, can you tell how it feels like the whole left side body tilted over to the left side? It's pretty comical for me, especially from the left off the thigh bone and the hip space. All right, so same love for the right leg. The right leg floats up directly over the hip, perpendicular to the pelvis. And then I'm going to hold it for a moment because this thigh bone's going into a little spasm. So I'm going to let it go for a second. There we go. My front of my thigh bone has a mind of its own sometimes. So I had to give it a little traction to rest into the socket a little bit more. Excellent. So the right heel is reaching up towards the heavens. And now I go into that keyhole feeling. I will rotate the thigh bone out and come back through neutral to rotate it in. And it's not a huge range of motion. It's just so you can purify and clarify how well the thigh bone can roll deep into the pelvis and the socket. Last 2. This improves function around the thigh bone. And then we'll go into large leg circles. 6 one way, 6 the other way. Breathe easy. I just speak so much that that's my excuse for breathing. 6. Oh boy, 6. Time flies away, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. And then you hug that knee. Oh, this side, I need to support the back of that thigh bone a little bit more as I bend that thigh bone towards me. How did that feel? I hope great, because that's very helpful to open up the space around where the thigh bone and the pelvis meet. Excellent. So now I'm going to stretch both legs nice and long away from me. Yes, I feel more even. I'm going to bend both legs, put each foot in front of each sit bone. We'll revisit our pelvic curl into our pelvic bridge. I'm going to move the yoga block a little further into the wall. Collarbones wide, head and neck nice and wide and heavy onto the ground. Take an inhale. Exhale, curl your tailbone, peel your hips into a full bridge this time so you can really feel the relationship of shoulder, bottom of the ribs, top of the pelvis to the knee in one happy long communication of a line. And then from there, we roll our spine down. We melt it down like it's butter. Wonderful. And once again, I have to remind my thigh bones to not knock inward. Take an inhale. Exhale, curl your tailbone, peel your hips up. Step into all corners of your feet evenly. Breathe into the front of those thigh bones. You could stretch your arms nice and long just so you can lift the top of the hips into your lower arms, forearms if you may. Broad collarbones, chest resting heavy into your back. And then we slowly roll our way back down. May I have 2 more of those? Take an inhale. Exhale, curl your tailbone, peel your hips up. Pause up top. And then roll your way back down. On the next one, if it's available, we'll go marching 10 times for each leg. Exhale, curl your tailbone, peel your hips up. Pause. I'm going to bend both elbows. Let the palms face each other or create a fist to really enhance the back of the arms coming into play to keep the shoulder blades nice and wide, but not a death grip with your fist. Just so I say that out loud, just because hand tension can equal neck tension. We don't want that. Take an inhale, exhale, right leg comes up and you place it down. Left leg comes up and you place it down. Pay attention. Is the right leg going in its own happy lane with the thigh bone and the knee? Is it going inward? Don't allow it to cross the midline. Keep it in its own happy place. 4 and 4. And you're still in a bridge if it's available. It can be a lower or a lesser bridge if that feels better. 6, 7. Are you still able to breathe easy? Speak easy. Speaking means breathing better. 9. You're watching a video, so talk all you want or hum all you want. And roll your way back. Oh yeah, doesn't that feel yummy? I'll just assume you said yes. Hug both knees into your chest, and now I'm able to. Rock your way up to sitting. Take a little momentum or a little rock, like rolling like a ball rock, and come all the way up to sitting. Take an inhale, exhale, move far enough forward. We're going to roll down to the tip of the shoulder for our single leg stretch next. We're going to go into single leg stretch and crisscross, just so I say it out loud. Exhale, feet come off the ground and you roll your way into the tip of the shoulder blade. Stretch the left leg away. Hug your right knee as close to you. Send it away as the left knee gets hugged. Send it away as the right knee gets hugged. Send it away as the left knee gets hugged. If you need to hold your head and neck in your hands, that is also okay. Do what feels comfortable. So we'll take that right into crisscross. We're going to twist towards the right knee with the left armpit, right armpit, left knee, left armpit, right knee, right armpit, left knee, left armpit, right knee, right armpit, left knee. Last one. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock and roll your way all the way back up to sitting again. Yay! I know. I get excited about the littlest things. I'm going to move some things away and get a quick drink of water. Making myself warm for some reason today. Not that I'm complaining about it. So I keep messing with my hair. I'm just going to put it in the side so it's easier instead of getting bunched up along the base of my neck. All right, so I'm going to use the TheraBand today. I'm going to put each foot in it, but I'm going to start with the right foot. I'm going to go on to my side lying. I'm going to use the yoga block today for my head and neck. So if you have a pillow, by all means do so. My left arm is stretched out. I'm off of my left shoulder just to keep it happy. And I'm thinking of my left ear into the yoga block just so I can keep my gaze forward. Before I go anywhere, if you have a wall where you can lie all the way butt up against the wall, head, middle of your back, tail into the wall, that's a great way to find your side lying position. And I'm going to choke a little bit closer towards the foot just so the TheraBand will pull on my right shoulder a little bit more. I take an inhale to prepare. I'm going to step into that right leg to lift that right leg off the ground. And then I'm going to lower it back down. Stephanie always gives us a cue of digging that foot in a trench further past the earth and then lifting it off. It's a great cue. So think of how that would relate. So you dig that leg and the foot into the earth and then you lift it off the ground. We're going for 10 of these. I know it's a challenge. Just be mindful that the top hip did not roll back, as I had to make sure I did not. Low belly lifts as the leg lifts off the ground. And I think I'm on 7. Woo. Here's 8. Here's 9. You do not need to look at that foot to know where you are in space. On the 10th one, keep it off the ground. You're going to bend that right elbow as the leg kicks forward and lengthen as the leg kicks back. Bend the elbow as it kicks forward, lengthen as it goes back. Here's number 3. 10 of these as well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Keep it back there. Allow your upper body to rotate. So in that essence, you're letting your nose go down to the ground, and you're going to reach into that theraband with the heel of your foot. Draw 10 circles both directions. 2, 3, and the top of the thigh bone. 5, 6, heel to hip connection. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and reverse. Try not to lock the knee. Keep that low belly lift. A subtle pelvic tilt sometimes helps in this to keep it from the opposite side of the small of your back. Excellent. Now that we're done with those 10, we're going to come out of this theraband, and push ourselves up for a moment to sit with our legs out in front of us. I would actually have you come up and walk just so you can really feel the difference if you were in class with me. But I know you can see that my right foot's way further past the left foot. I am so much longer. It's pretty awesome. And fold forward and notice how nice that feels. Yes? Okay. I'm going to pretend you said yes. All right. It's just my way of knowing I'm physically and mentally and emotionally with you, not physically. All right, here we go. I'm going to lie on my right ear. Let my gaze go forward, right shoulder off, left hip directly on top of the right hip. And I'm going to choke a little further down just so it can open up the top of the shoulder. And remember, you can go back to the wall feeling if that felt good for you. Although your kicks will not be happy with the wall. So, I didn't think about that until I said it out loud. All right, here we go. We're going to dig a trench into the earth with that left foot and leg and then lift it off the ground. It's like there's some magic strength pulling the left heel away from the earlobe as you float it off the ground. It's very tempting to close off the space between the arm meeting the armpit. Try not to do so. That way we have room between the arm and the armpit. I know I'm talking a bunch. 6, 7, 8. I could actually do these quite a long time because it feels so good for me. And 10. And so now we go into that big kick forward, left elbow bends, left elbow lengthens as it goes back. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. OK-Vidya hand tension. 6. I had a death grip on the theraband. 7. I don't need it. Not sure why I did that. 8, 9, and 10. Wonderful. I'm going to rotate where my nose looks down, take that leg behind me, and 10 tiny circles from the thigh bone and the heel connection. Top of the thigh bone behind me and the heel. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Carefully come back and come off. Sit with your legs out in front of you. Oh yeah, much more even. I hope you felt that. That was really, really helpful for me. So going onward, we're going to go on our bellies next. We're just going to roll our way all the way onto our belly. From that connection, swinging the legs back. And then you're going to let your hands, the back of your hands, rest one on top of each other, and the forehead resting on the back of your hands. Let your shoulder blades shrug and unshrug. Yes? So they just shrug and unshrug. And my left foot's deciding to talk to me, so I'm going to just stretch it out for a moment. Shrug and unshrug. So now keep it unshrugged, where you can dance with the arms and the shoulders at any time if you need to. If you have any low back discomfort and you're one of those who likes to squeeze your bum too much, bend your knees, take the heels together, toes apart. That'll help keep the front of the hips happy and open, and it'll keep it away from the small of your back at any time. So here I am with my broad collarbones and shoulders. I'm going to keep my hands that are glued to the forehead, and then I'm going to barely let my hands come off the ground. That's number one. And then I'm going to keep that connection, easy shoulders, and maybe look slightly towards the front edge of my mat. And then maybe let a bug crawl in front of me a little bit more forward to lift my chest up a little bit more. And then I roll my way back down. Whew, nothing like a little extension for my heart rate to go through the roof. So I have to calm myself down a little. Here we go. The forehead resting on the back of your hands, easy shoulders. I have to remind myself of that all the time. I'm going to stretch my legs back away. Take an inhale and then exhale, float the hands that are glued to the head and then lift up a little bit more. And this time we're going to let the hands separate, stretch the arm bones nice and wide, take it out in front of you and then bend them back in. And you lengthen and you bend. And you're slicing the air with the pinky sides of your hands to lengthen from the elbows out. And then bending it back in. So the elbows essentially don't really go much wider or narrower. They just stay in an imaginary spot. And you're looking slightly down to keep the back of the neck happy and long. And then you roll your way back down. Whew, how did that feel? Pretty challenging, right? I know. So last segment, same start. We're going to let our shoulders relax. Let the low belly lift into the breastbone area, keeping the belly button soft and wide. Tail going towards the toes. No bum clenching necessary, especially for myself. And then I float my head with my hands off. This time, I'm just going to go one hand at a time. I'm going to go to salute and back. Other hand, salute and back. Change the position of where the hand lands. So every time the right hand goes below the left hand goes below the right hand. You're just going back and forth. Last one. And then roll your way back down. All right, so very last thing on your belly here, and then we get to go into our side plank section next, and then a little balancing perhaps. So here we go. We're going to take the four hands and the hands off of the forehead. Just let the forehead kind of come off the earth. Take the left hand behind you where the palm faces towards the body. The right hand towards you where the palm faces towards the body. Float your heart and your chest slightly up. Slice the air for a backwards 100. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remind yourself of keeping the space between the arm and the armpit soft. As you do these, we have 4 left. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 5. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Let's say one more. Excellent. Let your hands rest underneath the shoulders. Sit back on your heels in child's pose. Woo! Goodness. That was a mean section, huh? I know. But you all got there, right? Yes, you did. Take a breath in, let it go, and then come onto your hands and knees for a moment. Go in through cat-cow. You can have your toes tucked or the shoelaces of your feet down, whatever feels comfortable for you. Hands directly under the shoulders. Remember to take a broad space with your hands. The pads of your fingertips pressing into the earth like a spider web hand. And then float your heart and your chest into the middle of your upper back. Curl up into your cat shape. And stick your chest out into cow shape. 2 more. And come through neutral. Tuck the toes under, lift your hips up and back into downward dog, and go out all the way down onto your plank, into your forearms, if that's where you're going to be. Pause in your plank, find your plank, and then roll over onto where you're going to take the left hand off for your right side plank. Breathe. I almost said 5, but you know I like to lie a lot, so I won't even count out loud. We're close though, I promise. Excellent. And then come back through your center plank. Find it. Broad collarbones, gust of wind lifting your low belly into your back. Left hand moves to bring the right arm off towards the sky. Find your left side plank. And I won't even count out loud again because you know I lie a lot anyway. We're almost there again. Excellent. Find your normal plank one very last time. Inhale. Exhale, right knee skips between the elbows. Keep it there. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let it fall. Go right into your pigeon. Whew. Fold over if that feels good for you. It's not about me. Trying to be very mindful of time. So far, so good. Tuck the back toes under. Prop yourself into that one leg plank and then slide the right leg back. Find it again. Head and neck floating, heart lifted into the middle of your upper back, and then left knee between the elbows. If you're on your forearms, you can still do it between the elbows. 4, 3, 2, drop it down into your pigeon. Yep, this side is a little different and tricky for me today. Still staying broad across the collarbones and the shoulders. If you want to fold over, go for it. I'm not going to be able to. This left knee is not going to let me just flop on or fold over on top of the thigh bone. That's okay. So let's tuck the back toes under, find our plank, and then lift your hips up and back into your downward dog. Pause in your downward dog, pedal your feet 15 to 20 times. Is your head and neck still happy? Are you able to bobble it? Are you broad across your collarbones and shoulders? I'm on 7. And 12. 15. I'm going for 20. Excellent. And then I'm going to lower down onto my knees. Come as far forward onto the mat. We're going to go into a couple of fun things, especially if you like rolling like a ball, open leg rocker, and those kinds of things. And I do. And if that's something you do not enjoy, then skip it. And we'll meet in about 2 or 3 minutes for our balancing section. Take a breath in. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Let your feet inch your way into your hands. And then you put your hands either on your shins or the back of the knee space, wherever you're happy. Curl back to the tip of the shoulder and rock your way back up. Allow your gaze to stay as it is. Head and neck to stay in the same place. Don't throw your head back. So roll back. Last two. And one more, please. And stretch the legs up. Hold either at the ankles or the back of the knees are still a-okay. And we rock back to the tip of the shoulder. Press the legs into your hands to roll up. Back of the legs pushing into your hands will help you rock up. Last three. And two more. One more, please. Pause. Bring the legs together. We are already in teaser land. We might as well see if it's available. So far, so good for me. My hands are free. I've let go. And I'm going to let my arms go over the head again. Lower just a little with the legs. Bring it back up. The upper body and the chest ideally don't change much. It's just the thigh bones rolling forward and rolling back. Woo. And then open the soles of your feet together, knees open, and you flex as far forward. Okay. Holy moly. That was intense, wasn't it? Yes. Here we go. One more nice thing, and then we'll get to go into our standing balancing section. You're going to take that same, actually, we're going to go into a zigzag shape. I forgot where I was for a second. Left leg out in front of you, right leg folded behind you. Left hand to the side between the left hip and thigh bone. We're going to lift up to open the front of that right thigh bone and hip space. Head and neck in line with the rest of the body. And allow yourself to kind of roll and twist back. But as long as the low belly stays lifted, don't let your chest go too far forward of the hips here. It will create a low back unnecessary tension, and breathe into that whole right side body. I hope that gives you a good stretch for the front of the right thigh bone and hip space, and then melt your way back down. I hope it made sense. We have one more just like that. We're going to let the left hand be our anchor. Left shoulder is happy. We haven't slumped into the shoulder. We're up and out of that shoulder. So our neck space is broad. Arm bone rotates out. Forearm, which is the lower arm, rotates slightly in to keep the elbow space happy. And we lift that right arm next to the ear if that's available to open the whole right side front of the body. A subtle pelvic tilt will keep it off of the small of your back as well. Wherever you are, just breathe. And then we come all the way back down. I hope it made sense. Now we're going to go on to the other side. Left leg behind you, right leg folded in front. We're going to stand on the left knee and the corner of the right knee to come all the way into that front of that left thigh bone and hip opening connection. The legs are down onto the ground. The thigh bones are off the ground. The hip is off the ground. And we're just breathing into that stretch. Right shoulder is in a happy place. Happy neck and head connection also. And then we'll melt our way back down. Yes, I'm trying my best to pay attention. Last one. 4 full breath cycles. Time flies for me. It never feels like 55 minutes or an hour. It always feels like 5 or 6 minutes. Very thankful for that aspect. And then we come back down. So however you have a practice to come up to standing, I want you to do so. I'm going to try to come up from the seated position and press my way all the way up without using my hands. And I did so. Ooh, huge success for me. If you're near the wall, use the wall. If you don't want to use the wall, don't use the wall. I'm just going to stand on one leg as I allow my body to feel like it's floating on top of that thigh bone. I'm going to stand profile just so you can see I haven't gone out to the corner. standing in the corner of my thigh bone. That's not good. We want to be really long across the front of that hip space. I'm going to take my right foot off the ground first. Eyes are wide, head, neck, and tail having a nice conversation. Low belly lifted, ribs soft into your back, tail hanging heavy, low bladder wall lifting up into your throat. And my ankle is going through all kinds of rockiness, which is good. It's not a bad thing. We're going to try to see if we can stay here for 40 more seconds. So a whole minute's worth. Yep. If it's available. Happy neck, happy thoughts. It's so easy to get wrapped up into, oh no, I can't do this. Even if you have to put one fingertip into the wall to find that length, then you barely take it off and you put it back. It's a-okay. Do what makes you happy. Just keep your eyes like a panoramic vision that you have all corners of your eyes available. Soft lids. And down. Wonderful. Same thought process for the other side. Take a breath in. And exhale, float the left leg off the ground. Stand tall across the front of that right hip. Right bum and heel talking to each other. Hands can be in prayer pose in front of you. Fingertips talking to each other. Broad collarbones, soft chest into your back. Tail hanging heavy, low belly lifted into your throat. Easy collarbones, head and neck floating like a helium balloon, and broad eyes, soft lids, panoramic vision. So many things to think about, but this is our only moment to be this present with our body, mind, and soul. Why not do so? Because we can recover and heal and get so much better with our movement if we focus. Woo! Almost there. Wow. And down. Wonderful. Just do a forward fold just to see where we are at the end of class to check in. It's the same as folding into the wall. Oh yeah. I feel so much better across the pelvis and the low back. And the top of my hips, yay. And then I roll myself back up. Thank you so much. I would normally take those 3 breaths, but I just went a little bit over. So please forgive me. Have a great day. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.